Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew and today we're checking out the UE5 demo on both Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S. Now I'm going to run this for about 15 minutes on the Xbox Series X and kind of talk to you about what I'm seeing. We're only checking out the nanite because it does give us an option to change that to nanite view. So now we will be able to see the nanite and how well it works on these next gen consoles. So go ahead and strap in if you like this content. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started with this. Now, this demo is available to everyone that has a next-gen console. You can download it, you can see these things for yourself, and you can appreciate just what they have. Now, the Xbox Series X version is definitely running in a higher resolution. There is more. The crowds are more dense, the traffic is more dense, and the environment is, you know, a higher quality detail. So you notice as you start walking that the triangles will start to move and shift, and everything in the world is shifting in real time right as you are walking. Like in a normal game, in the games of today, the way that this transition is showing, it would probably look like popping. Like you would be noticing this as popping, like everything would just be like popping in as you're running down the road. And that's kind of what this looks like right now in this developer view. Shout out to Unreal for giving us the ability to check this out in real time. This is freaking pretty amazing. This is great. So is what you're seeing right now with all of this that looks like pop-in is actual transition of detail as it's getting closer to the camera and more in view. So they're not wasting all these resources in stuff way out there in the back when they don't need it, when a simple, you know, texture, a placeholder texture will show you that. See, as you look at the thing in real time, you're noticing like, wow, that looks pretty freaking good. Like there's no pop in. You're not seeing any pop in. Like the ground is not popping in as you're walking. I mean, you're not seeing any of that. Any of those transitions that are visible as you're in nanite view, you're not seeing any of that. There's no pop-in, no transition whatsoever as you're running. Like you're seeing everything in real time. Everything is taking its shape. Now, if we go back to nanite view and we run, it looks like everything's popping in again. You get that high level of detail as you get closer to it. Certain items are going to have a certain amount of detail as they get closer. The trees stay about the same, as you can see. But then when we get over to something like let's see if there's a sign somewhere. There's usually signs everywhere. So you notice while you're in this developer view just how fast and fluid this motion is. Now this, like I said, is running on Xbox Series X, so you're getting a lot more detail than you would be on the Series S. But we're going to look at that as well to kind of just show you how everything, like as you watch this building, nothing. I mean, yeah, you can see like all the textures and everything pop in as you get closer. But you see these signs up here? As you get closer to them, they get more detailed. And you're noticing that, and you're not seeing that in real time as you're running through the streets. Like there's definitely a lot more pedestrians on the road, people walking than there are on the Series S, that's for sure. Okay, so here's one of those signs I was telling you about. Okay, as you get farther away from it, you notice how the texture on that sign starts to, like the triangles get smaller and smaller and smaller as you get closer. Boom. Now, if we go back to the regular, see, nice and clear, you can see that really well. Now, as you walk away from it, you are not seeing any kind of popping in or out. let me do one more thing. Let me get rid of these, the crowd. Okay, we'll get rid of the crowd. We'll get rid of parked cars. We'll get rid of the traffic just for this. Okay. Now, you can see that sign. Like, it looks blurry from back here. But as you walk closer, that sign, it never pops in a texture at all. It just gets clearer and clearer the closer you get to it. So, let's see that again, but with nanite view triangles. Now, as you walk away, watch the textures pop out. That there's what it would look like normally on a regular game. You would see that thing just like popping as you're walking closer. Boom, it'd be like, oh, it's a little bit clearer, and then it gets clearer and clearer and clearer until you actually get to the sign. So let's see that again with it being in regular default. So as you're walking away, there's no pop-in, no degradation, nothing. It just gets more out of focus. This technology is freaking phenomenal. Let me just run down this road. Turn it off, everybody. And all the cars and all the stuff. You're not seeing any popping in this world whatso freaking ever. Now you will notice, like, inside, like, buildings and stuff, that, like, when you get closer, like, some of the furniture and stuff will start appearing on certain buildings. But yeah, the fact that everything is loaded, and as you run, it just gets better texture. Like the streaming, the data stream, the texture streaming is so fast, so fluid in this new UE5 demo, that this is freaking amazing. Like, you're seeing this all in real time, how fast and how the transitions work to really give you a sense of just how the I'm really hoping that we can get rid of popping completely. And this right here, this looks promising. This looks extremely promising. Look how freaking detailed that building is right there. Like, we need to see that just in regular time. Wow. There's so much detail in this building that you cannot see any of that popping in either. Like, as you're walking away from it, that building still looks super detailed. So much detail in that building. Still so much detail. Let's see how many triangles we got now. Like, yeah, look at that. That building just stays freaking, like, look at all the popping as you're walking closer to it. Like, look at that. You get closer, and then boom, it is just immaculately detailed as you get closer and closer to some of this stuff. This is really impressive, to be completely honest with you. The fact that you're getting all of this detail as fast as you're getting this, like, this is pretty great. I'm really happy with the way that this is definitely turning out. This is definitely a nice window into what this technology and nanite has to offer. This is great, and the fact that you're still getting, let's go back, that you're still getting, ray tracing reflections, ray traced ambient occlusion, ray traced global illumination with the lumen. Like, this is freaking great, especially at this resolution with this much detail. Wow. We are definitely in for one hell of an amazing visual treat this generation. Character models in this demo look freaking phenomenal. Better than we've ever seen in any game before. I can't wait to see what the new DICE engine is going to be capable of once it goes completely next gen. The Frostbite, the new Frostbite engine, the Dunia from Far Cry. These are like IdTech 8. All of these new engines for next gen, once they finally get the push, really converted over to what these next gen consoles are capable of. Like the power of the SSD in the PlayStation 5 and the velocity architecture of Xbox Series X and S. This is great. The fact that you are seeing such immaculate detail and no pop in everywhere you look. Like, okay, you see those things across the way there, hanging on the fence, the tarp little things that are hanging on the fence. Like those right there, there's no freaking pop in or degradation, but you get farther away and they do kind of take more of a shape. But then when you get closer, yeah, you're getting all that freaking detail. The texture streaming in Nanite is extremely impressive. This is really impressive. So with that, I was planning on doing like 15 minutes, but I'm only going to do I'm going to try to keep them a little bit short so people can stay interested. I'm going to switch over to the Xbox Series S version and complete this video. So hang on a minute. All right, now to pick up where we left off, going over the Nanite. This is the Xbox Series S version, running in real time on Xbox Series S. Now we're capturing this. So as you can already see, you're not really losing that much detail when you switch over. The biggest drawback is going to be on the Series S version is the crowds are less dense. The traffic, is going to be a little less dense, but by and large, I mean, you're still getting the full package on the Xbox Series S. So let's go ahead and switch over to Nanite view. We're going to go ahead and leave the traffic and everything on this one on. We did have it off on the Series X version, but we are going to go to triangles. So right off the bat, you can notice that the detail levels are not going to be as high as the Series X and PlayStation 5 versions. But what you can see is UE5 running in real time on this console and giving you the exact same the exact same performance, just in a more toned down feature. So yeah, you're still getting all of the like right here, like the pop in looks more aggressive on this version because the triangles are bigger. So it does look more aggressive, but when you're only rendering at 1080p, you don't need as many triangles. Like right down here at this ground, like you can definitely see some high detail in some of that. Let's go ahead and go over to just regular view, default. So you can definitely see the different textures. They look really good. If you're running this on a native 1080p screen, like this looks freaking pretty great on the Series S. You are still getting all of your ray tracing. See your reflection in there. You're seeing the whole world reflected around you. You're definitely getting a level of ray tracing that is respectable for a 1080p screen on this game. Like just the fact that you're getting all of the next gen features on the Xbox Series S just further proves that yes, Xbox Series S is definitely a next-gen console in a smaller package designed for lower resolution screens. Like that's what it is designed for. And you are still being able to take advantage of the Unreal 5 engine to power this experience. Like this is nothing short of amazing. So obviously, you can clearly see that this ground right in front of you is highly detailed. Everything, like this building right here, you can see the complex of the textures that are available to that image, to that structure. Everything moves in real time, and as with the Series X, you are not seeing these transitions while running this game in real time. In what you would be seeing as you're playing this video game. Like, yeah, right now you can see all the levels of pop-in, or not pop-in, but texture streaming as they are streamed into the image. Like, this looks freaking pretty great. To be completely honest with you, I'm blown away at the performance that this Series S is delivering. As you get closer to these signs, they exhibit, higher detail. Wow, this just looks phenomenal. Just how fast this moves with the velocity architecture. And you're never left with a blurry image anywhere on any of these things. Like, we're gonna get over here because there's one of my little favorite signs. Wow, it actually looks like you're getting a pretty good amount of people walking around in here. So as you get closer to this sign, you'll notice that the nanite streams in better texture. And when you walk back, you see the popping out of the texture. Now, if we switch over back to default, see how the signs look kind of out of focus, but then as you move closer and closer and closer, they become more, like, you can see those better. That's the power of this new engine. Like, this is phenomenal stuff. For it to be able to work on a Series S the way that it does, I mean, see, like, they're out of focus, but never once do you see a better texture being swapped out with a better texture. Like, you're getting, it's just, the streaming is so fast and so smooth that you never see those things transition. Like, look, you're not you're seeing this in real time just like I am. You have exactly the same ability to download this to any of your next gen consoles as well and see this for yourself natively. The fact that you're getting such an immaculate image on any of these consoles is phenomenal. There's no pop-in. There's no texture streaming issues. Like, you look at these signs on the ground. If you walk away from them, they just get more out of focus. But as you look at them, when you get closer to them, the way they change, like, so, yeah, this is great. Like, look at all this transition, like, everything popping in and out around you in developer mode. Like, look at this. Swapped out with better textures, closer to the camera, higher detail, and this is completely invisible to your naked eye while playing the game. Like, this would drive you nuts with this level of pop-in. This literally, the pop-in right now in this view is akin to playing Black Desert Online. With all the way the pop-in is, like, popping in, like, right next to you and stuff. But it's essentially, like, invisible to the naked eye. Like, you go back to default, you're not seeing any pop-in whatsoever. This is freaking phenomenal. This is running on Xbox Series S. This is a next-gen console. There's no doubt about that now. There's nothing that any of these little... There's nothing that anybody can say to take that away from this. This is running a next-gen engine on an Xbox Series S in real time with the new technology. Like, this is phenomenal. I do have to give props to Microsoft for building a console that will run next-gen engines and deliver an experience that is considered next-gen. Like, this is next-gen. This is what your next-gen consoles are going to do. They're going to eliminate pop-in and give you some of the highest detail you've ever seen on a console game. This is phenomenal. The fact that you still get ray tracing on a Series S, you're still getting the ray trace global illumination through Lumen. This is freaking phenomenal. And the fact that they were able to put together this demo to show you this running in real time for yourself is pretty freaking phenomenal. Now, I look forward to what these amazing developers and creators are going to create for us, the experiences that we're going to see, the worlds that we're going to be able to explore in real time. This is nothing short of phenomenal. And the fact that we're getting a pretty consistent experience through this on Series S, yeah, dude, I have zero doubts in my mind now that this is a next-gen console. Like, this completely shows you that, like, this is amazing. Now imagine Unreal Engine 5, like if they would have put those that remastered trilogy of Unreal or Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas on this engine, wow, could you imagine? Could you just imagine the next Grand Theft Auto looking this clean on a Series S? Because this is pretty great. This demo has a pretty decent sized yep, we're right back where we started right here. This demo has a pretty decent size open world, and just the fact that this looks this good. So I'm just going to show you Nanite just for the triangles for just another. Yeah, this looks so freaking good. The level of detail, the way that everything's looking in here, the nice sharp edges for everything. This just looks great. This looks amazing. I'm very happy that we were able to take a look at this and to be able to create, some content for this. This is pretty cool, man. Hopefully this kind of explains things in more detail to people. Like I really like making this kind of content and really doing this. So basically is what we're looking at, guys, is the level of detail being swapped out as you get closer to it. Like everything changing, like it looks like popping right now on here, but that is just how complex these new engines are at bringing you much higher fidelity visuals without things popping in real time as you're playing. Like this is fast, man. Velocity architecture in the new PlayStation 5 SSD, the way that this is, I would expect to see zero pop in on PlayStation 5. Zero. Like, unacceptable to see pop in on PlayStation 5 games running UE5. Xbox Series X and S, the way this is looking, I'm thinking we're probably with the SSD speed, we'll probably be able to get zero pop in on those as well, hopefully. But I'm not going to rule out it not being possible. But the fact that this streams this great, wow. I think all three of these systems are fast enough. The Xbox Series S does have the same SSD and everything powering that. So yeah, this should be a pretty smooth experience running UE5 going forward. The only thing that we're probably going to be lacking is probably going to be resolution and frame rate. Seeing as this is running at 30 frames a second, that's probably going to be the biggest downfall. But to be completely honest with you, this 30 frames a second does not feel bad whatsoever. Like, this feels pretty smooth. This experience feels pretty smooth. Like this is not bad at all. This actually feels pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with what we have with what's going on right now. The technology and the technology and the consoles and the specs. This is pretty good, man. Like a lot of I seriously do wonder if this could run on last gen consoles at all, just to see like it's never really about the specs of the machines as much as it is the engines powering the games that we play that really bring out what is possible. Now, if they had this technology, you know, like say you put like an SSD in your last gen consoles, I think that this could run off an SSD on last gen consoles. I do feel like that would be possible. I don't think that we ever really hit what the potential was of the mid gen console refreshes of last generation. And this technology coupled with Sony's you know, like say upscaling technology like temporal injection or checkerboarding, this is going to be an interesting generation for sure. Like Unreal Engine already has its own like temporal injection upscaling methods, so this is going to be pretty interesting, guys. Like we got a lot to look forward to when it comes to these new engines for these consoles, man. Like I was saying earlier, you know, like once Frostbite engine from DICE gets upgraded, once Snowdrop from Ubisoft gets updated, once you know IdTech 8 gets updated to run on next gen consoles, this is going to be an amazing generation. Like I am definitely interested in seeing what all of these different engines are gonna bring. Unreal Engine 5 is freaking impressive. Like you're seeing this in real time right now with me, just how impressive this works on an Xbox Series S. This engine is impressive. Just to you know kind of show you a little bit more, just in real time, man. Like this looks freaking great. I'm very satisfied with this. If I was playing this on a 1080p TV, because I'm playing it on my monitor right now on my laptop, and this looks great. The global illumination from Lumen looks fantastic. Literally looks fantastic. The shadow cascades that you're getting, shadow quality looks freaking pretty good. Yeah, this looks great. I'm impressed with what this is doing on Xbox Series S. I'm not seeing any pop in. It looks smooth. The gameplay feels pretty good. Animations, you know, things like that are definitely going to get better with each game. Each developer is going to bring their own artistic touch to this engine and really make it shine. Wow, this technology is great. This is such an amazing time to be a gamer and somebody that appreciates visuals and appreciates game worlds like I do. Wow, man. UE5 is definitely something that I want to see powering the big open world games of the next generation. This is great. I'm definitely a believer of UE5 for sure. The way that this looks, the way that this feels. You do notice like the pop in from on these, like right here, like the furniture. Like let's show you just inside these rooms. Boom, they disappear, and then they come back as you get closer. I just feel like those aren't fully realized in there, and they're just kind of that's probably some kind of AI that is just designing those in real time or something. But this is pretty cool, man. Like this is a demo, and this looks better than a lot of games on the market right now. To tell you the truth, I mean, yeah, this is freaking impressive. This is pretty impressive to see just how detailed this world is. Like this looks, yeah, dude. Imagine Ubisoft going back and like using this engine to power Watch Dogs, the original Watch Dogs. This looks better than that freaking demo they showed us that they were like, oh yeah, and this is running on Xbox Series S. This is running on Xbox Series S, and this looks better than that full PC demo they were showing us. Like this world here looks better than that world, than the Detroit of Chicago that they were showing us in Watch Dogs, the original Watch Dogs. This is great. I really do hope that some Ubisoft games will take advantage of this for their open worlds, because this is pretty cool tech. Unreal definitely knocked it out of the park. So with that, this has been fun. to check this out for sure. To check this out with you guys and to kind of just go over this technology and show you what this is. This video went a little bit longer than I wanted it to because I got really into it, but man, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It definitely helps support this channel and gives me the ability to bring you content like this and to experience this with you, my community that makes this happen and makes this possible. So if you like this content, like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let's continue to grow as one, man. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate the support, and thank you.